What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here, welcome back to the channel. Now, at the time that I'm recording this video and posting it, which will be the same day, it is Friday, March 4th, and I know what you guys are thinking. You're thinking, why are you posting this video when you should be posting it on Saturday? Truth be told, tomorrow I actually have to go to my not to my doctor, but to Northridge Hospital. Big shouts to them. No copyrights, of course. You guys know how it works with the algorithm. I have to go there tomorrow to get some blood work done for my physical, and I'm actually going to be helping my mom out with, reorganizing her shit, because I had mentioned to you guys that she's been back living with us again for the last few months. So it's gonna be a long. It very will be a long project for me, but this deck profile I was actually going to be showcasing to you guys tomorrow, which will be Saturday actually, but I decided to just do it now, again, just because I have my blood work done, gotta help my mom out and all that. So this is actually my updated Egyptian God deck, and this is truly more of an anti-meta strategy rather than a competitive meta strat, because while it is true that the last version was good, this one is a little bit better, because this is truly a deck that you would literally see Merrick play if he were to have had all three Egyptian God cards in his deck, but honestly, it's pretty good. The extra deck is sort of similar. It's not the same. It's not different. It's like somewhere in between. And then the side deck is just pretty insane, to say the very least. So hopefully you guys enjoy this deck profile. If you guys do and you guys want to see more deck profiles in the future, make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up, and make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, because every now and then, you guys know, every now and then I always check the analytics on my phone, because when you go to your YouTube channel on your phone, right where it says manage videos, it shows your analytics. And I'm looking at my analytics, and a lot of you guys who watch my videos aren't even subscribed to the channel. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and give this video a thumbs up so you guys don't miss out on any new content that comes your way. And make sure you guys check me out on Twitter and Instagram. The links are down in the description, as is the info to fan mail. If you guys want to send fan mail, you guys want me to open it up on the channel, the info will be in the description as well. And let's get straight into the deck profile. Obviously with this deck, you are running one of all three Egyptian gods. So you have Obelisk the Tormentor, Slifer the Sky Dragon, and the Winged Dragon Ra. These are the main cards you need to have in this deck. Excuse me. Because if you're not running these cards in your deck, you're not playing an Egyptian God deck, honestly. But of all three, Obelisk is probably the more better one, because it basically helps you just pop all monsters that your opponent may have. So what's cool about this is that you can actually tribute two tokens and just pop your opponent's whole board, while just spamming your board with a bunch of cards, possibly from from the extra deck. Maybe even spam your board with the Egyptian gods. The possibilities are endless with the deck, which is pretty cool. Then of course we have the one copy of the Winged Dragon Raw Sphere Mode and one Guardian Slime. I decided to cut these down both to one, mainly because of the fact that Guardian Slime can help go into into Egyptian God Slime, which, funny enough, Guardian Slime is a 10-star, as is Metal Reflex Slime. So you basically have 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 4 ways. So it's as if you have 4, 6 Egyptian God Slimes in your deck. So that's why I decided to cut it down to 1. Plus, I didn't have enough room for what I have in store for this deck. And as far as Raw Sphere mode, this is basically your kaiju for the whole deck, which is pretty cool. All you do is just tribute 3 monsters from your opponent's board. You summon it to their field. Once your turn comes, then it gets summoned to your side of the field. You tribute it, and you can summon Raw, and it gains 4,000 attack right off the bat, which is just absolutely insane. Not only that, but with Raw, but if you have Raw on the field, you can just pay 1,000 life points, just target a monster on the field and destroy. You can even destroy himself, for all we know. You know the possibilities are endless. But Raw Sphere mode is basically your kaiju. It's a way to break your opponent's board depending on what they have on their board, which is really cool. Then for the 4-star monsters, first up we have 3 copies of Raw's Disciple. Obviously, this is the way to summon out Obelisk, Slifer, or Raw. You normal or you special summon a Raw's Disciple. Trigger wording, everybody. You trigger Disciple's effects. You summon out two more from either your hand or your deck, and then you tribute them off. You summon an Obelisk, Slifer, or Raw, and you're pretty much just off to the races there, which is really cool. Then, of course, we have 2 copies of Millennium Seeker. This is a card, I believe, that was seen in the Prismatic God boxes last year. Now have been released in the Egyptian God deck. I think Slifer. Yeah, I think Slifer. But if you guys have never seen this card before, or never heard, or never saw me talk about this card on the channel, it's a 4-star. It's a 4-star Dark Spellcaster with 1,000 attack and defense, and its effect reads: when you take 1,000 damage or more battle or effect damage, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can target 1 monster in your opponent's grave, except a monster with question mark attack, meaning Slifer or Raw, of course. Your opponent can choose 1 monster from their deck, except a monster with question mark attack. If they choose not to, or if the targeted monster has higher attack than the chosen monster, special summon the targeted monster to your field, and if you do, shuffle the chosen monster back into the deck. Otherwise, your opponent adds the chosen monster to the hand. So what's cool about this is that this acts as a monster reborn. So if they choose not to choose, then the monster that you targeted comes to your side of the field, which will help you go into your link plays for possibly cards like Axis Code, cards like Decode Talker, Nightmare Unicorn, possibly cards like IP Masquerade, even your Xyz plays. If you want to go down the route of summoning Xyz monsters, it can help you. This card basically helps with that, which is really cool. Then, of course, I'm actually running 2 copies of 2 new additions to the deck. These were released, I believe, in the Millennium Pack several years ago, and I completely forgot about them. I am running 2 copies of Holding Legs and Holding Arms. Holding Legs is really cool because what's cool about this is that this is basically Hey Trunade. So if you guys have never seen this card before, it's a 4-star Dark Fiend with 800 attack and 600 defense. Its effect reads: if this card is summoned, return all set spells and traps on the field to the hand. You can banish the card from your grave, target a set spell trap your opponent controls. It cannot be activated until the end of the next turn. So not only is this a Hey Trunade, but it also acts as sort of like a much more weaker version of Zing Zang Hu, because Zing Zang Hu because there are actually two different versions. There's the original from Rise of Destiny, and then there's a newer version that was released many years later, known as Zing Zang Hu Replica, where Zing Zang Hu, the original, reads that you can select two set back row, they can't be activated, and it's a continuous try. Replica only lets you target one. So it acts as a much more weaker version of Zing Zang Hu, which is not too bad, but as long as you're able to just bounce, but as long as you're able to bounce your opponent's back row back into the hand, and if you have enough damage for game, you're pretty much just good to go. Now, holding arms on the other hand is really interesting because this acts sort of like, I guess, sort of like an imperm of sorts. So its effect reads: if this card is normal or special summon, target one face-up monster your opponent controls. While this card is face-up on the field, that face-up monster cannot attack. Also, its effects are negated. While the face-up monster is on the field, this card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. So not only can this card protect itself, but it's also, I did say imperm, but it's basically a Fiendish Chain, which is extremely important in this deck. You want to try and maximize having a pretty good amount of negation on board, and holding arms is one of the biggest problematic cards in the format now because of the fact that it acts as a Fiendish Chain. That's why a lot of people who prefer to play anti-meta would play cards like Holding Arms and Holding Legs, because they're both mainly for anti-meta strategies. So this card, absolutely insane. And then to round out the monsters, we have 3 copies of Reactor Slime and 2 copies of Scapegoat. Reactor Slime basically gives you metal reflex slime on board, and it gives you 2 slime tokens. So you have basically 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 9. You basically have 9 Egyptian god slimes right off the bat. You've got 1 in Guardian Slime, 3 in the Metal Reflex Slime, 3 more in the Reactor Slime, and then 2 in the form of the Egyptian god slimes themselves, which is really cool. So this card basically acts as tribute fodder to set your metal reflex slime. Sorry, I can't even speak. So it's not too bad. It's not too bad. And then of course, Scapegoat basically is there to spam your board with tokens, allowing you to not only go into cards like Link Karibo, but you can also use the tokens to go into IP Masquerena, which will help you go into cards like Nightmare Unicorn, Decode Talker, or even Axis Code Talker if you want to go down that route. You can even also use IP to go into cards like Cerberus, Phoenix, whatever Link monsters you have in your extra deck. IP is there, which is really cool, and Scapegoat just pretty much helps you get into IP much quicker. Now moving on into the spells, we have a high plethora of spells, to be honest. We have 3 copies of the True Name and 3 copies of Card Advance. Card Advance is really cool because this basically gives you an advantage. It helps you look at the top 5 cards of your deck and just place them in any order, which will then help you with True Name. Because with True Name, you get to declare 1 card that's on the top of your deck, and you draw it. And if it's the card you declared, not only do you get to add that to your hand, but you get to also add one of the 3 Egyptian gods to your hand. So it acts as sort of like a pot of greed of sorts, which is really good, really good. Which I mean, come on, you can't go wrong with that, honestly. Then of course we have 2 copies of Ancient Chant. This is basically a way to search out Raw and also Raw Sphere Mode. Actually, you can also add. You can even also, I believe you can also add Raw Sphere Mode to your hand, but mainly But truth be told, if Ra is in your graveyard, you can use Ancient Chant as a monster reincarnation of sorts, which is really good. And not only that, but you get to banish the card from your grave, and basically Ra gains the attack of all the monsters that were used as tribute fodder to summon Ra. So basically, Ra gains his own anime effect, which is just absolutely stupid, absolutely absurd. And I believe, yeah, it is actually a once per turn, so it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Then, of course, I am running one copy of Rank Up Magic Numeron Force. No, I am not running the Utopia package. I actually have something even better. But with Numeron Force, this basically acts as this acts as basically Dark Ruler No More for the entire deck. So its effect reads: target one face of Xyz monster you control, special summon from your extra one chaos number with the same type as that monster you control, but a rank higher by using it as the material. In which case, it is treated as an Xyz summon, and the materials that were on the first number gets attached to the chaos number as the material, of course. Then, if any face-up cards are on the field other than this card, and the monster summoned by it, negate the effects of those other cards. So you want to try and maximize not having any back row or any of your other monsters, because if you do, they're gonna get negated, and you're gonna have no choice but to just tribute them off or something, which is pretty gnarly to say the very least. But Numeron Force again acts as a Dark Rule No More, but it's permanent, which is just absolutely insane. Then, of course, we got the one Monster Reborn. It's Monster Reborn, you gotta run it and everything. We got the Blaze Cannon, which is kind of hilarious because the first line of text reads, in parentheses, the first line of text says, this card is always treated as a Blaze Accelerator card. Yeah. Which is stupid. But, if you guys have never seen this card before, I believe this was released in Rage of Ra, actually. So, its effect reads, 1 Winged Dragon Ra you control gains the following effects until the end of the turn, and the card's activation and effect cannot be negated. So not even a card like Solemn Warning or Solemn Judgment could negate Blaze Cannon, which is just insane. This card is unaffected by your opponent's card effects. When an attack is declared involving this card, you contribute any number of other monsters that did not attack this turn. This card gains attack equal to the attributed monsters' combined original attack until the end of the turn. After damage cal, if this card attacked, you can send all monsters your opponent controls to the grave. So this acts as basically a way to just wipe out your opponent's board and to be able to just win games right off the bat, which is just insane. Then, of course, we have 3 copies of Soul Crossing. This is basically the card that helps you bring out your 3 Egyptian God cards really quickly. Not much else to say about that. We got the 2. We've got the one Fist of Fate, and then the one Thunder Force Attack. Fist of Fate mainly focuses on not only. Hang on, guys, my Fire Stick just went to sleep on me. There we go. So with Fist of Fate, not only is this a sort of like an imperm of sorts, but it allows you to destroy the monster right off the bat, and it also acts as a Harpy's Feather Duster as well, which is just insane. Because the effect reads this. This card's activation and effect cannot be negated. If you control a monster whose original name is Obelisk the Tormentor, negate the effect of one effect monster your opponent controls. And if you do, destroy it. And if you do that, for the rest of this turn, the effects of that monster are negated, as well as the activated effects and effects on the field of monsters with the same original name. Then, if you have Then, if you activated this card during the main phase, you can apply this effect, destroy all spells and traps your opponent controls. Again, Heartbeat's Feather Duster, which is just insane. Now, Thunder Force attack is kind of a weird one, because this is basically Memories of Hope, but for the whole deck. So what's cool about this is that the effect reads: if you control a monster whose original name is Slifer, destroy as many face-up monster opponent controls as possible. Then, if you activate this card during the main phase, you can apply the following effect. Sorry, I can't speak. Draw cards equal to the number of monsters destroyed by this effect and sent to your opponent's grave. Also, you can only attack with one monster this turn. So again, it acts as a Memories of Hope. So for each card that was destroyed by the effects of Thunder Force attack, you have to draw a card. So if 2 were destroyed, it's a pot of green. 4 is double. Is a double pot of green. It's absolutely insane, absolutely nutty. And the thing is, with cards like Blaze Cannon, Fist of Fate, and Thunder Force attack, you only need one. You only need one because of the fact that you have one copy of each. So yeah, and then of course we've got 3 copies of Mountain of the Bound Creator. The last build I had, I was running 2. I decided to bring this up to 3 because of the fact that I've got the Thunder Force attack, I've got the card advance, the True Name. These cards basically just help you help you dig deeper into your deck to get out Mounds of the Bound Creator, which is incredible. And then for the traps, we have 7 traps in the deck. We've got 2 copies of Waking the Dragon, which you'll find out why here once we get to the extra deck. We have 3 copies of Metal Reflex Sign. Not much else to say about it. It's a trap monster. Not much else to say about that. And then of course we have the 1 copy of Ultimate Divine Beast. I decided to take this down to 1 because you already have cards like Reborn. You've got cards like Ancient Chant, which helps you get into Raw. So you only need 1, and this acts as basically a Monster Reborn for the Egyptian gods at the cost of sending a spell or trap from your hand to the graveyard. And then of course we got the 1 Solemn Warning, just in case if your opponent tries anything stupid. Solemn Warning can help. Now for the extra deck. What you guys are about to see from this extra deck is going to be insane. Sorry guys, I had to move my camera a little bit, but first up we have Relinquished Anima. Yeah, Relinquished Anima, hell of a card, absolutely broken. Not much else to say about that. This is basically Snatch Steal, sort of. So the effect reads: you can target a face-up monster this card points to. Equip that face-up monster to this card maximum 1. You can only use this effect once per turn. This card gains attack equal to the equipped monster. So basically, it's basically the original Relinquished, which is insane. Not much else to say about that. We've got the 1 Link Karibo, which again you can use a token to summon Link Karibo, which is pretty cool. And not only that, this is also another really good generic interruption because of the fact that Link Karibo can just ensure that your opponent's monster has no attack, which is just insane. And basically their monster just gets destroyed no matter what, which is very cool. Then of course we got the one IP. IP is just way too good. Not much else to say about that. We got the Nightmare package. We got Cerberus, Phoenix, and Unicorn. Cerberus focuses on monsters. Cerberus destroys monsters that were special summoned. Phoenix actually destroys back row, and then Unicorn basically just shuffles cards back into the deck, so it acts as sort of like a trap dust shoot. So to speak, which is really cool. Then of course we got the one Decode Talker. This card is really cool because it has three link arrows. it gains 500 attack for each monster that it points to. So if all 3 zones are full, that's what 1500. That's what 3800 if I remember correctly. Yeah, that's 3800 attack, which is insane, and that also gives you a pretty decent amount of negation on board that actually targets any card that you control, which is just insane. Then we have the one access code target as a way to just wipe out pieces of your opponent's board because of the fact that you have a pretty decent amount of link monsters in your action, which is really cool. And then for the Exceeds monsters, I can tell you one thing right now. The first 3 that I'm going to showcase can be targets for Waking the Dragon, but it's mainly used for Access Code Talker for the most part. But we have 2 copies of Time Thief Redoer, number 101 Silent Honor Arc, Chaos number 101 Silent Honor Dark. But what would happen if Redoer has a good amount of materials and you want to just end the duel right off the bat? What do you do? What do you do after the battle phase? Once you go into main phase 2, you summon Zeus. You bring Zeus out, you win. Plain and simple. Not much else to say about that. And then of course we got the two copies of Egyptian God Slime. This is basically just there to help you summon Obelisk, Cypher, and Ra really quickly. Moving on into the side deck, we have 2 copies of Artifact Scythe, Artifact Lancia. We have 2 Ash, 2 Bells. That's pretty much the monster lineup as far as like the main deck. As far as like what you would normally side into the main deck. As far as cards that they can side into the extra deck, we have number 89, Diablosis the Mind Hacker. I've talked about this quite a few times with the last few deck profiles that I've done. This card is basically another like anti-meta strategy. So this card is just absolutely insane. Being able to just banish cards from your opponent's deck like it's a never-ending pot of desires is absolutely absurd. This card is just is absurd. This card, Diablosis the Mind Hacker, could very well be the most meta-defining card in the game right now. Just saying. Then of course, and then for the spells, there was only 2 spells and 4 traps. We got the Harpy's Feather Duster, the Call by the Grave, the 3rd Waking the Dragon, 2 Solemn Strikes, and then the second copy of Solemn Warning, just in case if a card like say Ultimate Divine Beast doesn't work out, or if Blaze Cannon is just like a brick in the deck. Solemn Warning can the second copy of Warning can just really help out. But all in all, that is the deck profile. Let me know in the comments below your guys' thoughts on this deck, because this deck is just absolutely absurd. It's a lot more better than last time because of the additions of the holding legs, the holding arms, the third mound of the Bound Creator, with the additions of cards like of the Redoers of Zeus. It's not too bad if I say so myself. So that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want to see more deck profiles in the future, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you guys do not miss out on any new content that comes your way. And be sure to follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. All the links will be down in the description below. And if you guys have any fan mail that you want to send me and you guys want me to open up on the channel, all the info will be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.